everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So I finished the big pink flower that's in this pass, and I'm now working on the peacock's wings again. And eventually it'll be into his tail because his wings overlap his tail. So yeah, because of the way the peacock is standing, the feathers are going that way, so I am just following that and kind of working my way up in kind of stripes almost, because that's the way the colors are forming across this piece. So yeah, I actually discovered that there was another leaf there between the flower petals, so I finished that I think yesterday. So yeah, now I'm starting to work around it. I did some below it, and now I'm just starting to continue to grow out from what is already there. So yeah, that is the lay of the land. We start. Yeah, so once again, unfortunately, sounding like a broken record, but yeah, our air quality is absolutely terrible still. So my throat is a bit sore. Yeah, it's not as bad as last time, but it's still pretty ick. We're supposed to have some rain, which will hopefully kind of clear things out a little bit, but yeah, it's bad. It's shaping up to be maybe as bad as it was in 2023, which was a really, really lousy summer. Yeah, that wildfire season was just terrible. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's just not really improving. So yeah, and I found it kind of depressing too, because I mean, I haven't really seen any blue sky for days, weeks, even a couple of weeks now, from this all this smoke in the air. Yeah, it's ugh. I'm quite sensitive to that stuff. Yeah, I remember we were learning about when I was a kid, like how up in at the poles and stuff, they'll have weeks with no sun and then weeks with, you know, no dark and stuff. And I just thought, weeks with no sun, I would die. Yeah. Yeah, I said it annoys me when they'll set Christmas movies up in Alaska or whatever, and they have normal balance of days and nights, and I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Yeah, I think you get like 4 hours of daylight or something at that time of year. Yeah, it's people don't do their research, so they don't know that. Okay, so this, I'm going to carry this thread up and possibly back down, depending on how long it is. It'll probably run it, and then I'll carry it downwards if there's any left at that point. Yeah, so at school, kiddo has been having, they've been having sort of like a spirit week, and every day is a different theme. Yeah, so they had one day, it was bring your stuff in anything but a backpack. So my son took his in a little box, and he said one kid used a tire. It's like, okay, that was pretty creative. He said he's actually surprised that almost no one else had used a box, which you would think that would be a pretty, you know, basic thing. But yeah, because we get the those meal kits subscription, like it's not HelloFresh, but similar kind of thing. Yeah, I have the boxes for recycling, and he just took one of those. And I remember that day thinking, because I'll have one box that I don't break down, and I break down the other boxes and put them inside till it's full. Then I put it out to the curb, sort of like, I think every 6 weeks. And all the broken down boxes were there, but the box holding them wasn't. And I thought, oh, well, who stole my box? And then, yeah, when he came home from school, he's like, oh, yeah, I needed to, you know, something to carry my stuff in that wasn't a backpack, so I used the box. Like, oh, okay, that's where it went. So they had that. They're gonna have emo day. So we found him some black clothes, and I said, if you want, I got a black eyeliner you could use, right, or whatever. They had a frat day, so he wore like khaki shorts, collared golf shirt, and then a sweater sort of tied around his neck. So yeah, he did that. They had be a kindergartner day, so lots of kids brought stuffed animals. Yeah, fun stuff like that. He had one year it was dress as a meme day. So he went as the Kermit drinking the tea thing. So I got a plastic mug, and we taped a little tea bag in it so that like the little the paper label part, right, was hanging on the outside. And then we got some swimming goggles, and we made them look like, we put some paper cutouts on them to make them look like Kermit Frog eyes. And then, yeah, he put those on his head and then pretended he's drinking. And we put a little thing on the outside of the cup that said, "But that's none of my business." And yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, I said cosplay is fun, man. Some of the stuff I've seen people come up with is amazing. There was one I saw, somebody did Mystique from X-Men, who's the shapeshifter, and it showed her mid-shift, so it was the blue on the one side and then looked like she was wearing like a military uniform on the other side. Yeah, it was really amazing. Yeah, I don't really have the dedication to do those, but I sure like seeing what people come up with because they can be very creative. Yeah, sort of once a year on Halloween, I put on my Star Trek uniform. I have a little original series, yeah, blue one. I have to pull out the bumper thing for my hair to make a little beehive. Yeah. Funny thing is, though, I forget about it, and then when I was getting in my car, I smacked my hair on the on the edge because, yeah, I wasn't used to it being so much bigger than my head. Yeah, I never really got into that. I remember that was the trend, like early 2000s, the big bump in your hair. And yeah, I could never master it, so I just kind of never did. My hair's very slippery and fine, and it's very hard to put it in, yeah, into hairstyles and get it to stay that way without like a ton of hairspray and gel and all that stuff, which I can't stand having in my hair. So yeah, it's the same reason I don't wear makeup. I said I could feel it the whole time it's on me. Same with like nail polish and stuff. Yeah. Okay, so just again, make sure I'm in the right spot. Yeah, you can see I've got a couple of little sort of extension plateaus there. And then, yeah, I'm going to sort of fill in and then fill in and, yeah, just keep on building from there. So I'll probably be working across a wider area this time just because of the way the colors are on this piece. Usually I try to kind of keep it contained in a couple of big squares, but yeah, sometimes just that isn't possible. So, or, well, it's possible, but it's a lot of work, so I don't bother fighting it. So yeah, as I usually say, as long as the stitch will be connected at least on one side to one that is already there, I'll do it. And I don't close in completely. Or try not to. Very occasionally, I find it's kind of more trouble than it's worth, so I will. But that's pretty rare. So yeah, closing in on 75% done, which like I say, may or may not happen. It's gonna be close. I started at 221,000, so it would be over 9,000 stitches to get to that point. I usually manage about 8, so yeah, it'll be close. But like I said, that big flower was a lot of big blocks, so it went by pretty quickly. But yeah, now I'm into the more confetti heavy part. Yeah, so I had some people ask if I'll be done by the end of the year. I think I'm gonna call it now and say, yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. If I abandoned every other project that I'm working on and worked just on this, then probably, but yeah. I don't want to do that. I was actually unable to get anything done on Firefly in the last month. That's why there was no update on my private Instagram page, which you can request to follow if you wish. It's just literally called Gemma Stitches Private, and yeah, you have to request to follow and I'll approve you, but that was the way I found I can share it while not getting into trouble, hopefully. Yeah, so swapped everything out of my working tray. All the pinks and purples are packed away again. We are back into the browns and oranges and reds. Yeah, I think I have 2 more sessions this month and less than 2,000 stitches to go, so I think that may be doable. I'll have enough days sort of in between. Yeah, I may be able to do that. We will see. Oops. Oh, rats. Caught my thumb in the loop there. Let's change my armrest over. Yeah, I have this folded little baby blanket that I use, and then I have a squishmallow, which is a little bit taller. So I use the squishmallow when I'm further from that left-hand edge. Throat is sore. I have to say, taking omega-3 oil for my dry eyes has definitely helped, because I have not really had to use eye drops, even though the air quality is so bad. And a couple of years ago, yeah, when it was like this, I was having to use them all day long. But then, yeah, one of my friends said, oh yeah, you take fish oil for that. It will help. And I thought, well, I probably should take it anyway. It's good for your brain function, right? So, yeah, I started doing that and discovered, woohoo, she was right. Yeah, I almost never have to use eye drops now, and they were so dry before. Yeah, I basically put in, there's some nighttime eye drops I have that I put in right before I go to sleep, but that is about it. Yeah, you know, kind of like I have like a lip mask that I put on before bed, and because of that, I almost never have to use chapstick anymore, which is, yeah, pretty amazing for me, because otherwise, again, I was having to put it on all the time. My lips were always so dry. But yeah, I was at the drugstore and saw it and thought, yeah, give it a shot. And it works great. Yeah, before that I had like, there was the car chapstick and the living room chapstick and the nightstand chapstick and that, right? It's kind of like with charger cords in my phone. Yeah, I have a living room charger and a beside the bed charger, and I have a one downstairs for when I'm watching TV charger, because, yeah, I got sick of always forgetting to bring it and having to get up and move it from another room, that I finally just went, you know what? I'm going to buy multiples and just leave them there. Yeah. It's kind of based on, I read that in a magazine when I was a teenager, saying, you know, if you have more than one bathroom, just keep cleaning supplies in each bathroom and you don't have to worry about carting them around. Yeah. So I applied the concept to other things, and it works good. Okay, so this color, yeah, it's not going to be used again for a while, so I'm going to pack it away. Yeah, so we ended up with this shape because of that leaf there. Now building up the feathers around it. can tell it's more confetti heavy when they end up with a lot of pin stitches in an area. Okay. Yes, I'm thinking this pass I will probably be done by the end of the summer, by the end of August. I will have 2 more to go, which will be in about another 6 or 7 months at that point. Okay, thought maybe I had a knot back there, but no. Sounded funny, but no. I can feel it. It's smooth, so we're good. It was probably just about to form one and then it popped out. So yeah, end up with a little bit of closing in. It's on 3 sides, but not on all 4, so. Need another new strand. the whole feather goes this way, but the colors within the feather kind of stripe that way, so I kind of follow both directions. Dear, that was definitely a knot. There we go. Oh, and now there we go. Colors are kind of similar, but I trust that the shading it adds is worth having to change colors so often. Yeah, one I found one of the most frustrating was I was working on a night sky, and it was all 939 and 823, and those are different colors. Like if you hold the two, you know, bobbins together, you can tell that they are, but yeah, when you stitch a lot with them kind of interspersed with each other, it is kind of harder to tell. I guess it's one of those, you can see it without actually being aware that's what you're seeing, than if it was all stitched in one solid color, right? But yeah, it was kind of frustrating sometimes. I work all day with these and it would just look like one solid block at the end of the same color. This actually is going not too slowly since it's not very many colors. Okay, I'm going to go right to the bottom here of this pass and work my way up until I kind of get a, triangle there. So I'm almost stitching diagonally in the opposite direction than I used to do. Oh, and I've passed 100 stitches. Woohoo! here. That's no good. Yeah, there's a knot. There, not anymore. Oh goodness, I am not having luck today. There we go. All right, all the way back up here and back down again. Yeah, so like I said, we'll kind of work this shape here, and then that's probably where I'm going to quit for the day. Okay, make sure I'm not stitching any other threads that I don't mean to be. Oh, here comes that rain that they promised. Yeah, just as long as there's no thunder and lightning with it, because we don't need any more wildfires to start, because yeah, unfortunately that's how a lot of them do. Yeah, we can have fire bans for people, but there's not really much we can do against the lightning. Yeah, acts of nature, nope. So yeah, as long as it's just rain, that would be good. Yeah, Jasper burned, I think, last year. And I don't think we've driven through there since that happened. Because when we do go to BC to visit family, that's the route we take. Yeah. I remember barrier burns early 2000s. And yeah, so I was like 20 years ago, but over 20 years ago. But yeah, when we drive through it now, I said the whole mountains and hills look hairy because of the yeah, the burned trees that are still standing. Yeah, from far away, looks like hairs. Yeah, so I guess in the end I did kind of keep it to a smaller area. Now, since it's not a very warm day, I might do some baking after this. I got some very ripe bananas on my counter, so I'll make some banana bread. And I got, I don't know how many in the freezer. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. One of my friends shared this thread of people who made weird substitutions in recipes and then wondered why it didn't work. And there was the lady said she tried to replace the egg with mashed banana, but it was terrible. And she was making an egg custard. And it's like, yeah, in like, say, maybe muffins or something, you can replace the eggs or whatever, but yeah, not in an egg custard. I don't really think there's an alternative for that. Oh. Or somebody had, I want to make banana bread, but I don't really like bananas. It's like, well, then I would look for things that aren't banana bread. Or yeah, there was someone who said they tried making, what was it, like a peach dessert, and they replaced the peaches with carrots and then complained it wasn't sweet. I'm like, well, yeah, because peaches have a lot of natural sugar in them. Ugh, my mom was so bad for that. She would make dessert, but she wanted it to be healthier, so she hugely reduced the amount of butter or sugar. So like, you know, if a recipe called for a cup of butter, she'd use like a quarter cup, and then she'd be like, why is it so dry? I'm like, well, because you changed all the proportions. Oh. Yeah, I love when people will report on these. I changed, you know, XYZ, but I followed the recipe exactly. It's like, I think you need to look up what exactly means, because yeah, that's not what it means. Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not against altering recipes to make them, you know, suit your tastes or dietary needs or whatever, but yeah, like, I mean, don't be surprised when the result is different. If you changed the ingredients, of course it's going to be different. I think we will go past 200 today. Oh dear. I hate when that happens. Tried to pull a thread out a little too fast. It snarled on me. Okay, I think I got it now. There we go. Yeah. Okay. All right. that was off. Well past 200 today. Oh, yeah, there's an end coming up. There's no knot, it just kind of caught funny. There we go. Okay. Pulled up the fiber kind of crossways, but I'm not really worried about it because it's going to be covered up anyway. Okay. It's probably just me being too picky. Goodness. Undershot, then overshot, I tell you. And since this one is also still got a needle on it, I will just do a couple more and then park and unthread. Because yeah, what's going to happen next is I'm going to go up back to the top and sort of work the next sort of layer outwards until the whole thing's filled in. So yeah, let's put that there and we are good. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you here next time. Thanks everyone. Bye.